Okay, a little bit ago I talked about the model that our current public school system is using, and what that, I want to expound on that a little. I want to talk about how there are different methods. There are much better methods, and basically, in a nutshell, and there are many different ways that this is educationally expressed, but the best way to teach children is through an interest-based model. Okay, so what does interest-based mean? Well, it's just kind of like it sounds. It's you start with the interests that your child has, and you expand on that. So what does that look like in real life? Let me give you an example of my grandson. Okay, my grandson has very severe ADHD. He's just turning 12 next month. And we have had him out of school. We brought him out of school before the pandemic because he was struggling so badly in the public system. And my daughter was working full time. She was going through divorce, and she couldn't put the time in. And I was having some health issues, so I couldn't help at the time. But I got a little better. We rallied. We took him out of school along with his older sister, who was also struggling terribly with reading and different things, just like her mom. And then my daughter also has a 5-year-old. So here we were. Here I was jumping back into the home education ring with my grandkids. And Andy, he's just a love. He's a sweet, dear young man, and yet he's an incredible challenge to work with educationally. So when we first started, I tried several different things to see what I could find that was of interest to him. And finally, the one thing I kept hearing about over and over and over was that he was very interested in newts, salamanders. Well, this came about because we have a piece of property with a little tiny lake on it, and he had found some salamanders or newts in and around this pond. And so he was always telling me about these newts, and I would kind of, say, oh, okay, well, that's really interesting, Andy, Well, finally I decided maybe that's just where we need to start, and let's just find out more about newts. So we sat down and we started learning more about it. We looked things up on the internet. His mom started checking out books for him in the library. He started talking to other people about it. Eventually, we were able to find a really nice big aquarium off of Craigslist, and he was able to set up an ecosystem for his newts, and he learned a whole bunch more about what temperatures the water needs to be kept at, and if they what kind of plants they like, and how to create that environment for them that is optimal for them. And he added fish, and he added tadpoles, and he added frogs, and he's just had a ball with this little ecosystem that he's created around newts. And that, in a nutshell, is interest-based learning. Now, there's all kinds of ways to do it, because some kids are more literary, some kids are more kinesthetic, some kids are more auditory. Whatever their interests are, you can teach anything from that perspective. Today, Andy, because he's learning how to love to learn, he reads about newts. Now, he was never reading at all before, but now he picks up books and he reads them. He researches things on the internet with mom's help or with my help, and he's doing all kinds of activities and learning all kinds of things because we started with where he was and what he was interested in. That's just one example of that I can give you of in the 25 years I've been doing this. I raised my own 6 children with this sort of method. We did a little more literary things. My kids weren't as they were easier to teach because they didn't have those kind of learning issues as my grandkids do. But my kids pursued all kinds of fun things, any interest they had. I would try to facilitate a way for them to learn more about that, and that's just how they grew up. If you would like to learn more about this, this is such a simple method. It is so enjoyable for everybody. And what happens is people learn that learning is fun. Learning is the thing that really drives the bus in your life, and it becomes a culture in your family. I'd love to teach you more about it and to help you learn how this sort of method is the way to go with truly teaching children the values in life that we want to teach them, and the love of just the love of life. Join our community and learn more about it.